Hello, good morning, and welcome to Aisha's Take on the Headlines. Today, the headlines, of course, as usual, Nigerian headlines are always green, and then you have some that are just there, funny, and all of that. So I'll start with the sad note. Herdsmen kill 11 in Benue once again, killings going on in our country, and we have a president who is actually blaming governors who are helpless by the way the constitution is set out. And then, of course, this morning again, we are hearing reports that there have been massive abduction in Nuhu Bamali Polytechnic in Kaduna State, which is located in Zaria. These are really sad things that are happening in our country. And let me tell you, all prayers isn't going to solve anything. Nigerians need to come out and make demands from those they elected. It's either they're solving the security issues that we have, or they get out of office. And I see, a lot of excuses that the president is giving. He did is it an interview? He did yesterday, press interview on Arise TV. I didn't watch that. I haven't watched even any of the videos because honestly, I don't think it's something that I'm ready to watch right now. I want when all the heat is off, I can now see that and unemotionally watch. Somebody called me, sent in a message and said the president was on TV. She was like, nah, I can't waste my time honestly watching a president who absolutely says nothing. And of course, I knew he was going to do a lot of blunders, and sadly, that's what came out of it. Let's come back to the headlines that we have from the newspapers today. There's this one that Sanwo-Olu asking security operatives to crush criminals in Lagos. It's become something else. It's back to the Lagos that we used to hear of before, where crimes took place rampantly. People are being mugged in broad daylight. People are being mugged. People are being robbed, or they will just come. Bosses, they will come with their guns, their machete, their knives, everything. Just stop vehicle in traffic, and Lagos State is full of traffic, and they just come in and they start robbing people in broad daylight. But then, what do you expect? These people have been empowered by the Lagos State government that actually supported them during EndSARS to come and attack EndSARS protesters. Remember, talks were being ferried around in state buses, state-owned buses. They were supervised by police. They had, they were brought upon to attack protesters. And hey, they've been given legitimacy by the government. You understand, direct or indirectly. And today we see what is happening all over the place. People's lives aren't being secured anymore. Then, of course, we have Buhari saying that be ruthless with bandits. Buhari orders security agents. I don't even know who listened to Buhari's words, because those bandits know that Buhari's words mean nothing, absolutely nothing. He just says this thing and there's no action that follows it. And at the end of the day, people are the one who are suffering, who are being killed needlessly, and all of that. And then, of course, the Buhari says that the youth aren't behaving themselves, and that's the reason why you're not going to get jobs, and that you should behave yourself. This is a man who is a parasite, who depended on government all his life, right from when he was school up to today. Government has been paying his bills and taking care of him, and yet he has the guts to come out and actually say this to the youth. I don't blame Buhari. This is the reason why you must never vote in somebody who has failed, who has shown you that he has failed. You don't give failure a second chance. His first time, the behavior he is right now, it's not. He didn't behave that way in his first time because he knew he was still going to come back to the people. Now, the gloves are off. And I think that's one thing that Nigerians aren't learning from, the fact that you do not reward bad behavior. No matter what it is, take chance with another rather than that bad behavior. If you had voted him out in 2019, we won't be hearing about him talking now. It's going to be someone else that will be doing the talking. Fighting corruption in democratic setting is difficult, says Buhari. That, in other words, he knows that his administration is corrupt. He himself is corrupt. Corruption is going on, but he's trying to make excuses and say the reason why they are not fighting corruption is because it's democracy. Really? Okay, you teach corruption even on national TV. Remember when Ganduje, and he was saying that, why would Ganduje go and collect the money himself? Hey, your president is as corrupt can be. They only say the guy na guy man. They go there collect them by himself. He goes through people. He actually even said it on national TV. He was teaching people. Buhari wants autonomy for state judiciary legislature. says Malemi, really, if he wanted that, he knows what he would have been doing, would have had executive bill being sent to the National Assembly, working on it. It's not just by words, it's by action. Action, they say, speaks louder than words. And then this one where Buhari said, I think all of this issue of Buhari came from the interview he did. So I haven't watched it. I don't have really background. So I'm just taking the headlines as I see them on the newspapers of today. Buhari says nobody should sit in Lagos and decide power rotation. You know what I meant? The neighbor. These people are not them. The next thing you now see, Atiku will go back to APC. They will now start giving him presidential ticket. There, oh, more they take our head do like this, ping pong. Anyhow, of course, when he needed that power, I remember before the second term, when he was looking for term, flying Tinubu in his private, in the presidential jet and all of that. That's not going to happen anymore now, because of course he doesn't need another term. There's no other term for him to run from. So he's saying that nobody should sit in Lagos and decide power rotation. They can do anything. They can decide to give it to a northerner or a southerner or whatever. Well, now them. As far as I'm concerned, there's no difference between those political parties. They move in fluidly. All of them are just there for their selfish interests, and they take care of it. It's time for Nigerians to actually look for people that will actually be there, take care of them, and hold them accountable. Nigerians are missing that part, that they are the ones that are supposed to hold leaders accountable. FG begins moves to sell Luther 6 assets. As I even said that bids are open. I'm like, why? Why did they open these bids? Why didn't I know? Because I want to bid for some properties too. There's one property along, is it Maitama? Since 2015, my eyes are like, this property, I need this property. But why do they even do this bidding? Why is it not always public? Or is it people like me that really don't pay attention? I think it should be open, it should be transparent, and people should be allowed to let them drop out of this corruption. Be cool. Let the state be able to get as much money as it is going to get. FG will reclaim grazing routes for herders. What's this? Okay, yeah, FG will reclaim grazing routes for herders, says Buhari also. You know, as Buhari, as far as it's concerned, it's always about his heritage, his Fulani heritage, and all of that. His headsmanship, relationship, he doesn't hide any of this. So when I see people talking about Buhari trying to Islamize Islam, I'm like, seriously, you don't see Buhari talking anything about religion. Since he became president, he doesn't do any of this. Even Osinbajo that is talking about religion and the fact that he was a pastor sent to serve Nigeria. He's first and foremost a pastor and all of that. It's even his own whatever heritage, the Fulani lineage that he's always protecting and working on, and this herders thing. Okay, let's see how it happens. You think I have my land, somebody will now come and tell me that this is herders route. We died there now. Everybody gets your own land. Where go they do? I mean, by the time they start doing herders route, they start doing pigs route, whatever, chicken route, all of that, and all of those things. And I think it's very important. It's saying that we should go back to the First Republic, the herders route of First Republic. Is the population going to go back to that of First Republic? Because the land hasn't changed. The land mass, in short, it even decreased. By the time we lost that Bakassi, whatever we have, it decreased. You understand? Then where are you going to say that you're going to go back to First Republic grazing routes when you are not going back to First Republic population? We'll see how it works anyway, because we say anything way that Buhari cannot spoil does not exist. I know there's something that people normally used to say. And then they say security on high alert because of ahead of June 12 protests. This is where the Nigerian government is always on top of its game when it comes to attacking protesters, when it comes to killing protesters, when it comes to going after protesters. But when it comes to going after bandits, terrorists, kidnappers, criminals, they're nowhere to be found. And it's really sad that people who are doing the right thing are the ones who are being punished. Insecurity, governors not doing enough. That's what the president said. I think I mentioned that briefly. The president is abdicating his responsibilities to people who have not been empowered by the Constitution to provide security. And that's why we're asking for state policing. Let states be able to provide their own security. But right now, we should even be having private security firms that are able to carry guns so that people can buy for protection of security to take some, instead of people, policemen and women being taken away to go and guard people in their houses, let them go and pay private security that will have guns that will protect them, and then let the police be there to protect the people as much as they can, when even the police, sadly, they cannot protect themselves. OBJ, Sultan, Onaikon, and a whole lot other had a meeting, 8 hours meeting, and they've resolved to meet the president because of happenings in the country. Things are going crazy. Nigeria, it's on the brink of collapse, if it has not only already collapsed, but it's just being held by a little bit. And I'm going to end here with El-Rufai that says that most likely there's going to be food crisis. Of course, there's already food crisis, not that there's going to be food crisis. Farmers have been driven away from their lands, insecurity in the land. I remember, like, 3-4 years ago, when I kept shouting that farmers were being driven away from the business I do is in the agri line anyway. Farmers were closing down their farms. Some of them they can't go there. They were being abducted. People insulted me. People called me all sorts of names and said that I was a fake news peddler. But here now, the crisis in the market, the amount of money you have to spend to buy food, I'm sure it's no longer fake. Even the governors are coming out now to tell us about the food crisis that we've been shouting about, and saying that the government should protect lives and properties. You can't send people to the farm without protecting their lives and properties. See you tomorrow, inshallah. Bye. This is Aisha's Takes on the Headlines. Bye.